This was a disaster. Oh, what's my name gonna be? Dickbutt. You got it. Dickbutt the Dark Elf. Hello everyone, I'm Logan with Ace in Your Hole Gaming, and this is the story of how I subjected myself to 24 hours of Skyrim chaos. For 24 hours straight, no sleep, just suffering. Now there are countless ways to experience Skyrim. You can fulfill the millennial fantasy of going to college for a degree you'll never use, and then still somehow afford home ownership. Truly the most unrealistic fantasy of all. You can hunt dragons, sacrifice your best friends to an evil god, or sign up for unpaid internships with cosmic horrors in exchange for cursed trinkets and moral crises. Crises? Bad thoughts. You can join a local mercenary crew that offers no health benefits and a complimentary werewolf curse. Or you can enroll in a prestigious group of bandits that'll teach you the ancient and noble art of aggressive borrowing with a pyramid scheme membership fee. But what if you don't want to do any of that? What if you want to run around Skyrim being a general nuisance, assaulting strangers, traumatizing children, punching politicians, and hoarding shiny rocks like a deranged magpie? What if, instead of saving the world, you make it objectively worse by trying to complete a list of bizarre challenges in 24 hours? Now before we dive into my slow descent into Skyrim-themed sleep-deprived psychosis, I want to address the elephant in the room, or rather, the potato in my PC. My computer is held together with zip ties and dreams, so a lot of this stream looked like someone tried to adapt Skyrim into a PowerPoint presentation.
Huge
chunks of the footage were unwatchable, and you're just going to have to trust me when I say, yeah, I totally did the thing, like collecting all of the stones of Baronzaya. Did I get them all? Absolutely. Do I have proof? Absolutely not. But the real reason I did this wasn't just to see how quickly I could unravel my own sanity. This whole thing was to raise money for the Arts Senior Animal Rescue in Edmonton, Alberta. They help old dogs and cats all over Alberta find comfy places to spend their golden years. I don't stream often, and I don't have a big following, but I wanted to do something good, even if that involved making Braith an orphan. Arts does incredible work, and if you want to support them anytime, not just during the charity stream, check out the links in my description. PayPal, checks, even an Amazon wishlist, there are a lot of ways to help. And if anyone watching this wants to join next year's 24-hour charity stream in February of 2026, drop a comment below. Let's make this an annual tradition. It's open to anyone who can commit to streaming, even if you don't think you can make it the full 24 hours. I had 13 bizarre tasks to complete, ranging from the morally dubious to the downright idiotic. I'll reveal them as we go, but trust me, by the end of this, I was one cheese wheel away from speaking in tongues. Alright, first challenge, make Braith an orphan. Oh, Braith.
10 seconds tomorrow, baby Battleborn, or I'm gonna bloody your nose.
You have no
and
idea
your
what's coming for you.
No, please!
We all know Braith, the pint-sized menace terrorizing the streets of Whiterun. Braith sucks. Sorry, Amryn, but your family sword isn't getting passed down to anyone. So step 1 was sending her parents to Sithis and sending her to Grelod the Kind's discount daycare. Mission accomplished. On my way out of Whiterun, I stole this sweet roll, which was task number 2. Next, I need to shield bash an NPC to death, task number 3. I got my invite to the Thieves Guild, pulled an iron shield out of someone's still warm corpse, and then immediately used it to beat a mentally ill boxer to death. The footage is too choppy to see, but don't worry, you can hear every brutal thud. And because I'm all about equality, I went ahead and did the same thing to his girlfriend, all the while collecting every bucket I can find. I use a meme for this and don't dare use the clip from this Mickey Mouse episode because Disney absolutely will burn down my house and stage my death to harvest my organs in the interest of prolonging Walt Disney's cryostasis. I got distracted by the Dawn Fang side quest while I was down here. I planned on doing a solid mage playthrough, but I needed something to fall back on when my magicka got drained, and weapon restrictions weren't really a part of the challenge anyway, though I was trying to avoid wearing armor. Early game magic sucks. The Guardian fights were brutal, and I died a lot. Once I got through all of that, I accepted some quests from Brynjolf and made my way back to the surface. While in Riften, I got a jump on destroying the Dark Brotherhood, task number 4, by destroying Skyrim's most evil monster, a helpless old lady who never hurt anyone, devoting her life to raising orphans. The second she hit the floor, all of the kids rejoiced in her death, because nothing warms the heart like a room full of orphans celebrating the violent death of their caretaker. After that, I abused the hidden merchant chest outside the Gates of Solitude to make some money off the Khajiit caravans that were also in town, looting the kitty shit out of their hidden litter box and selling it back to them until he was out of money. Then I whacked him with a stick and reloaded a quick save to do the vendor reset glitch so I could do it all again. I'm not proud of it, but these streets are hard and I'm a man in need of buckets and shiny rocks. Speaking of buckets, task number 5 was to collect 100 buckets. I collected every bucket I could find, like that older relative whose house you went to when you were a little kid, that one time, but they left an impression on you because they had mountains of stuff in every room. They probably had a couple of buckets hoarded. I don't know what I was going to do with them, probably stack them strategically and build a blanket fort. Inside Solitude's city walls, I went to the Blue Palace and sprinted full speed at a stone wall holding a plate until I transcended space and physical matter to enter the void containing yet another magic merchant chest. I don't really have good footage of that, so you'll have to take my word for it. Here's me staring pensively at a platter I'm holding against a wall, questioning the choices in my life that have brought me here. I think I got the Stone of Baranziah while I was in the palace, but I'm honestly not sure because I don't have footage of it. Collecting all of the stones, that's task number 6. While I was here, I needed to start the Wolf Skull Cave side quest in order to get Proud Spire Manor, task number 7. I asked my wife if she thought Falk was handsome, and she said,
"No, he's fucking ugly."
With Wolf Skull Cave cleared and Patema sent back to whatever spooky retirement home she came from, I returned to Solitude to cozy up to Jarl Elisif by returning her dead husband's horn to the Talos altar, paying respects to a dead guy so his wife would sell me real estate. But Proud Spire Manor isn't cheap, so I needed a way to make money fast. So that's when I got to work setting up Golden Hills Plantation, Skyrim's premier haunted murder farm. The previous tenants left behind a free house, 2 skeletons, 1 dead child, and a thriving business opportunity. You know what they say, one family's horrific tragedy is another man's passive income stream. You know, late-stage capitalism. After some light ghost busting and desecrating a child's grave for profit, I got to work farming Canis root and Imstool, because nothing says life in the country like churning out industrial-strength poisons of paralysis. Infinite quadriplegic generator. Paralysis potions are worth a lot. Between potion brewing, looting Riverwood blind, and testing whether baskets or kettles are superior or inferior to buckets as a theft accessory, they're not, I somehow found time to start climbing the ranks of the Thieves Guild. This involved shaking down the fine citizens of Riften, smashing vases, stealing statues, and threatening tavern owners with a sleepy elf named Feindal as my emotional support war criminal. It wasn't glamorous work, but the Skyrim housing market waits for no one. Then I looted the Thieves Guild HQ for everything that isn't nailed down, including a master locked chest that cost me about a dozen lockpits in my remaining patience. I sold my stolen goods to Tanilia, whacking her with my sword to reset her inventory like a true professional. With my pockets full of ill-gotten gains, I decided to kill time on a miscellaneous quest at Faldar's Tooth, slaughtering bandits and looting everything in sight. But in a rare moment of mercy, I used my calm spell to stop 2 wolves from fighting to the death in a cage match. This gave me the brilliant idea that from this point forward, I would spare every hostile animal I could in the name of the art's senior animal rescue. Wolves, bears, skeevers, even the ones actively trying to eat my face. No more killing dogs and cats, only strategic pacifism and running the hell away. That made infiltrating Golden Glow Estate through the sewers a little trickier. While the Thieves Guild wanted me to burn the place down, I was down there casting calm on every skeever like some kind of pacifist sewer wizard. After that, I turned in the quest to Brynjolf and did what any self-respecting crime lord would do. I immediately ignored his request to speak with Maven Blackbriar, ignoring all further Thieves Guild responsibilities, and went back to Golden Hills to farm paralyzed potions and make more buckets of cash and curse Feindal to a life of indentured servitude. It was a simple life, sleeping in my murder farm, grinding out potions, fast traveling to Riften, selling everything, then blasting Elgrim with a fireball so I could reset his inventory and sell him even more. Rinse, repeat. After several in-game days of this grind, I finally scraped together 25,000 gold, enough to buy Proud Spire Manor. But I wasn't about to give my hard-earned gold away like some kind of chump. Instead, I used Skyrim's ancient loophole of stashing all my money into a cupboard mid-transaction, a classic trick that lets you buy a house without spending a single septum. I don't know what kind of real estate market lets you speed run home ownership, but thanks to this glitch, I was now the proud owner of the most expensive house in Skyrim. Dick Butt might be a thief, but he's a clever thief. With Proud Spire acquired, I made a quick stop to check out my new digs and maybe grabbed the Stone of Baranziah. Or maybe I forgot. Honestly, with no quest markers and the onset of sleep deprivation, half of this run was just me wandering around hoping I'm doing what I set out to do. Next, I headed to Windhelm to tell Aventus Arentino that Grelod the Kind was dead. A heartwarming scene where I told an enthusiastic young boy that I committed murder on his behalf. Then I tried to adopt Sophie, task number 8, only to realize I needed a child's room first. Off to Solstheim to start the Ancient Ice quest for my armor. Getting Stalream fur was task number 9. I ignored a politician the second I stepped off the boat, saved Captain Veloth, and looted Skjold's journal, but not before taking a nap on a dead man's bedroll, which immediately teleported me into the abandoned shack with Astrid. Destroying the Dark Brotherhood is one of my tasks, so I blasted Astrid into the next plane of existence with an elemental blast and freed the prisoners. Since I was in the neighborhood, I discovered Morthal, punched the Jarl, then paid my bounty because laws don't apply to you when you're rich. Punching every Jarl in every city was task number 10. I fast traveled back to Solitude while gnawing on Twizzlers and had dinner brought to me by my wife, who was still threatening divorce over how I left something in the sink. After decking out Proudspire with every upgrade available, I finally adopted Sophie, but not before buying all of her flowers because I support local small businesses. Back at home, I gifted her an orcish dagger, which she immediately took to the training dummy, knocking over baskets and linen rolls like Skyrim's smallest, cutest serial killer. Then it was back to bucket collecting. A couple of stones of Baranzaya from Windhelm, a bucket from the College of Winterhold, and some smug words from Ancano. I killed the Draugr boss in Sarthal, stole the Archmage's Stone of Baranzaya, and reported Astrid's death to Commander Morrow, officially starting the Dark Brotherhood Purge Tour. Next stop, death to the Dark Brotherhood. So I took a carriage to Falkreath, broke into the Dark Brotherhood HQ, and killed everyone. Killing Arnbjorn with a lunar weapon here would have been the perfect opportunity to knock out the Kill a Werewolf with a Lunar Weapon challenge, since that was task number 11. But I wasn't smart enough to think of that. Instead, I ganked him with a paralysis potion before lighting him up with fireballs while he flopped around on the floor like a fish that just got tased. After that, I killed everyone else in the sanctuary, swiped another stone of Baranzaya, then went to tell Commander Morrow that the job was done. With the Dark Brotherhood destroyed, I took this moment to download a mod that added a quest marker for every stone of Baranzaya. You can say this breaks the challenge if you want, but unless you made a donation to some needy pets, I don't really care what you think. If not for this mod, I would have just read a walkthrough online anyway. So really, the only thing this mod broke was my will to suffer. Up in Riften's palace, I swiped another stone and gave Jarl Lila a good ol' face punch before leaving. The entire palace guard chased me outside, so I decided to punch her a few more times in the street while swords and arrows flew past my head just to make a statement. This was a total waste of time and a few health potions, but it made me laugh, so I regret nothing. With the Riften sorted, I began the Great Stone Hunt. Yingville, Stony Creek Cave, Ansevald. I fought mages, Draugr, anything else that got in my way, except for angry dogs, who either got calmed or left alone. Somewhere along the way, I socked Jarl Skald and Dawnstar square in his face, though the footage of this and a bunch of the stone hunt was not great. Let's just say my PC was running Skyrim like it was plugged into a potato battery at this point. Gradually, I made my way to Markarth. I had to start playing while standing up just to stay awake. I grabbed stones from the Treasury House and the Dwemer Museum, though not without burning a lot of time trying to stealth through the place like a coward. What I should have done was sprint through the museum, kill every guard inside, punch the Jarl on my way out, and never come back. Eventually, they found me anyway, and I gave up the stealth approach. I snagged the stone, ran past the guards, grabbed Stendar's hammer for some reason, a massive hammer that was too heavy for me to wield anyway, and bolted out of there with guards on my trail. I eventually found Jarl Igmund, gave him a few solid punches, then accidentally got into a drawn-out fistfight with the guy while he was armed with a sword and shield. When the numbers started turning in his favor, I ran out of there, intending to never return. With Markarth done, I hunted down another stone at Dead Crone Rock, this time guarded by Forsworn, then finally turned my attention to the main quest. There was a stone of Baranzaya at the Thalmor embassy, so I had no choice. It was time to finally hit up Bleak Falls Barrow. Excuse me. I blasted through the dungeon, cleared the final boss, and got the hell out of there. After selling some more of my junk to Tanilia, I calmed a friend-shaped super predator and snatched another stone at Sunderstone Gorge, calming an angry skeever on my way out. I promise we're almost done. My footage got choppy and crappy on way to the Lunar Forge to grab a lunar weapon. While I was there, a bounty collector confronted me about my bounty in Whiterun. I considered killing him, but I was going to need to go to Whiterun again anyway, so I gave him some money to let me back into the city. Before heading back to Whiterun though, I ran to Ranvag's Fast for another stone. I blew through generic Skyrim dungeon number 11, then generic Skyrim dungeon number 15. I'm starting to lose it here. I got the one at Pine Watch, and then I was down to 4 left, 3 of which were in Whiterun. My footage started getting janky again, but I promised I got all 3. Then at some point, I realized I was naked. I can't explain what happened or when it happened, but I lost my mage's robe and realized I've just been running around with a hood and loincloth for, I don't know, a vague length of time. Out to the Western Watchtower to let the main quest progress. Need to get to the Thalmor Thalmor Embassy. Before that, I went to Gallows Rock in the hopes of finding a werewolf, completely missing one that was locked in a cage. Because of this missed wolf, spoiler alert, I did not complete all 13 challenges in 24 hours. I might have done everything in time if I had just killed the werewolf in the Dark Brotherhood Sanctuary. That would have counted. I wasted more time than I needed doing stupid things and losing track of what I was doing more than once. In my defense, I had to keep running outside to take care of our horses because their auto-waterer system malfunctioned. So that's my excuse. The irony of manually hauling buckets of water to real-life horses while worshipping buckets in Skyrim is not lost on me. Truly, I became the bucket guy. The line between man and bucket blurred. I was not just collecting buckets, I was becoming one. I revered buckets so much that the universe decided to humble me by turning me into a bucket-based life form. If you're out there watching, Mitten Squad, just know that I carried the torch and the bucket, both in Tamriel and in this cruel mortal plane. My footage climbing the mountain was janky and terrible, but I definitely went to go see the Greybeards. Let's skip ahead. Ustengrav, the trumpet of Jurgen von Deadguy, Delphine, some buckets, killing a dragon. Lydia, get the hell out of my way. Eventually we got to the Thalmor Embassy, and I missed the Stone of Baranziah. I didn't know exactly where it was when I was going through the building. I guess I hoped it was going to be obvious. The sun was already up by this point, and I had maybe an hour left in the run by the time I was talking to Malborn. I stood outside the embassy for a while trying to figure out how I could get the missing stone, and after a quick Google search, I figured out it gets relocated to some cave if you miss it in the embassy. I grabbed it, but my footage was janky again, so you don't get to watch me grab it, but trust me, I did. By that point, I was over 24 hours. I failed. At some point after the 24-hour mark, I completed what was intended to be my final task, taking the Bard's Leap of Faith. It was going to be totally awesome, a majestic leap to close out the run right, ideally right before the 24-hour mark. Instead, the footage was garbage, and I really only have a still image of me standing on the edge of a diving board. I'm gonna say the Stone of Baranziah quest is complete, since I technically only needed to collect all 24 stones. There was nothing in the task about getting the crown, but I didn't complete the Bard's Leap of Faith in time, I didn't kill a werewolf with a lunar weapon, I didn't collect all of my buckets, and I didn't get a bounty of 10,000 gold in at least one city. I also didn't fully complete the Jarl punching, as I still had Jarl Elisif in Solitude. But goddammit, I've come this far. I'm gonna finish. My system was running on fumes at this point, and my PC sounded like a jet engine. I only got a still image of me looking at the Jarl with my dukes up, and then fought my way out of this city. I killed a lot of people on my way out, and I also got my 10,000 plus gold bounty. After sleeping, I came back another day and went to Gallows Rock to look for a werewolf again. Lo and behold, a caged wolf. I broke him out just to kill him. So there's another task completed, long overdue. Since time wasn't real at this point, I picked up Bloodthirst to match my Dawn Fang, even though I wasn't going to use it. I also decided to complete my crown since I went through the trouble of collecting all of the shiny rocks anyway. At some point, I started using bows and light armor for some reason, I'm not exactly sure when. But after killing tons of Falmer, I found the crown and took it back to Vex. I didn't need to complete the crown to complete my task, but I did it anyway. So, we've only got one thing left. The final task, the bane of my existence, the innumerable buckets. I searched high and low. I used kettle hats. I even sacrificed numerous kettles and baskets in the hope of summoning a bucket. I have to say, I'm really disappointed with just how few buckets there are in this world when you're looking for them. Frustration with how few buckets are in houses and shops. Every building needs buckets, especially homes. One for peeing, one for pooping, one for food items. In a pinch, one bucket can be used for all three. I decided to continue with the main quest and went to look for Esbern, because even though I don't have all of my buckets yet, I have to show them to Parthenax when I do. He'll be so impressed. I paid $7,500 for this bucket. Look, it's a set of twins. When Esbern finally opened his door with 100 padlocks, I pushed him out of the way to liberate his home of buckets. He was living with only 2 buckets and a bunch of baskets. What a piece of shit. Did he really think anyone would come here looking for baskets? I got out of there with Esbern and took him back to Riverwood, where I found 1 bucket and a bunch of baskets in Faendal's house. This makes me realize just how many buckets I must have missed on my journey, but I guess we all go through a little of that, don't we? Going through life, blissfully unaware of how important some things to you might be, and you may overlook them. Then, when you need them most, they vanish. I found this one little angry forsworn in the water. I thought her hostile red dot was a fish at first. There is no escape from my wrath. You will relinquish your buckets to me. I decided to let Delphine, Esbern, and a conjured ghost handle everyone while I searched for buckets buckets at Karthspire. I saw this one bucket though, and I didn't like the way he was looking at me, so he got left behind. On the way up to Paarthurnax, I followed this goat for a while. We became companions on a quest for buckets. I cleared the weather, and he led the way to the next bucket. It was a symbiotic relationship, one I came to value highly, until he was killed by an ice wraith. After I exacted my revenge, I forgot he existed. I only got as high up the mountain as I needed to discover the fast travel location, and then I bailed. I didn't have enough buckets yet. I couldn't confront Mario the Dragon until I had all of my buckets. What would he think? I considered leaving all of my current buckets on the mountain until I came back with their brothers and sisters, but they weren't ready to be out on their own yet. The Mage's College turned out to be home to a few buckets, liberating some from the clutches of the Archmage. Thinking maybe faction dens might be a haven for buckets, I decided to check out the DB Sanctuary. One lonely and abandoned bucket, hiding under the stairs, scared and confused, surrounded by the several week-old corpses of his assassin owners. I saved him. Then I checked my count, 100 buckets. That's it. I did it. But for some reason, it just felt like it wasn't enough. Collecting 100 buckets is great and can save your life, but you know what's even better than 100 buckets? 101 buckets. I just needed one more. I decided to go out with a bang. Out to Dragon's Reach and Whiterun, I wasn't totally sure if I even gave Jarl Balgriff his complimentary face punch, so I would search his entire house for a bucket and punch him on my way out. I knew there was a talking table or a dresser or something hidden behind this door, but no buckets. I knew there had to be a bucket somewhere in this city. After punching the Jarl, the whole city chased me. From house to shop, into the barracks and the Jarl's palace, I searched all over to look for one precious single bucket. I killed whoever stood in my way and wasn't an essential NPC. The commander proved to be a worthy adversary, tracking me down again and again, when suddenly, there it was, in Braith's house. We've come full circle, like the lid of a bucket, almost where this journey started. My final bucket, 101. With all of this murder in Whiterun, I also achieved another bounty of over 10,000 gold. I remembered checking it during the stream and verifying it, but I've been looking through 24 hours of mostly garbage footage, and I don't want to take the time. Believe me or don't, at this point nothing matters. But I accomplished all of my tasks, finally. I considered this final bucket to be a sign. I needed to go check on Braith and Riften. Realized then, I missed a really obvious bucket, number 102. You gotta be fucking kidding me. Found one in the orphanage too, 103. Whatever. I'm going to adopt Braith. This wasn't part of the challenge, but I put her here after all, and I wanted to set a good example for my buckets, that when you hurt someone, we make efforts to make it better. With this accomplished, I took all of my buckets up the mountain to show Paarthurnax, dropping them one at a time, a tribute to the bucket collectors before us, to those who taught us the value and reverence of the bucket. And there we have it, me, party snacks, and all of my bucket children. It didn't happen in 24 hours, but it did happen. All in all, I raised over 500 Canadian dollars for the Arts Senior Animal Rescue, which was at least like $27 American. Tons of money up here. I'm so grateful to everyone who donated, shared the stream, or just stopped by to watch me slowly lose my mind for a good cause. This whole ridiculous journey proved that with enough determination, stupidity, and buckets, anything is possible. If you enjoyed this video, please leave a like and subscribe. It really helps out the channel. But hey, no pressure. Maybe you'll subscribe, maybe you won't. Maybe you'll start collecting buckets in your own life, one at a time, until one day you look around and realize the buckets are the friends we made along the way, and you've subscribed without even meaning to. Funny how that happens. But if you're interested in whatever stupid nonsense I've got coming next, there's a little red button with your name on it, unless you're colorblind. Or don't press it. I won't be disappointed in you. I'm not your dad, and I never will be. And who knows, maybe I'll raise even more money doing something even dumber for the dogs. Together, we've compressed 24 hours of grueling, delusional nonsense into about 24 minutes. I know the footage was bad, and my next project will be much smoother. I want to thank Arts again for this opportunity. Their relevant links are in the description. If you donate, your money actually goes to real animals who need surgery, food, or just a safe place to crash while Arts finds them a forever home. It's good work, and it matters. Combing through nearly 24 hours of that chaos took a year off my life. I am not doing that again. For the next 24-hour stream, starting February 14th, 2026, I think I'm just going to play through Halo Reach, Halo 1, Halo 2, and Halo 3. We'll call it the Great Journey for Animal Welfare, or something. Prophet of Regret approves. Some of that footage might end up in other videos I'm planning, Reddit readings, hypothetical debates with my wife, conversations that start normal and then derail into psychological warfare. Trying to have some interesting conversations. You can check out my channel if you're interested in those, and I won't even hunt you down if you do it without subscribing. If you want updates, follow me on Twitter or X or whatever it decides it wants to be called when it grows up. I'm at LoganLikesUrMom. That's probably my tag everywhere. The next big show I'm working on is Can You Beat Oblivion as Donald Trump? Tune into that if you're interested in seeing Donnie trying to negotiate with Daedric princes like they're real estate developers that owe him money. Thanks for sticking around. And remember, while every home could use a pet, Every home needs a bucket. We're all in this together.